manipulated elections. We've set out to overthrow functioning constitutional democracies in over 20 countries. We manipulated elections in dozens of countries. We created standing armies and directed them to fight. We went after ethnic minorities to encourage them to revolt. The first thing we did in Nicaragua was to go to the Mosquito Indians, who had never gotten along with the other people in Nicaragua very well, and give them more money than they had seen in the entirety of history, and arms and training and rationales and sanctuaries in Honduras, and sent them into Nicaragua to fight, pillage. And this has been a technique the CIA has used in Nicaragua, in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Laos, in the Congo, and Iran, Iraq with the Kurds in different parts of the world. We created, trained, and funded death squads like the Treasury Police in El Salvador that are responsible for as many as 70,000 people, according to the count of the Catholic Church. And we've assassinated world leaders. You can never be sure how many people are killed in the jungles of Laos or the hills of Nicaragua, but adding them up as best we can, we come up with a figure of 6 million people killed, minimum figure. It has to be more than that. 1 million in the Korean War, 2 million in the Vietnam War, 800,000 in Indonesia, a couple of million in Cambodia, 20,000 in Angola, the operation I was part of, 22,000 in Nicaragua. For other reasons, we don't do these things in England, France, Sweden, Norway, Belgium, Switzerland, etc. These things are all done in countries of the third world where the governments don't have the power to force the United States to stop destabilizing the country and brutalizing their people.
In other words, you're dealing with a monster. All right, Esau is a mother effing monster. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters out there, unto the foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. And his track record speaks for itself. This is an intelligent agency. This man spoken of. Let's see, when did it say? What year was this? It doesn't tell you when he started his 89. 1989. So he's telling you all the stuff that he did to overthrow, to cause division. All right. And he gave you the reasons why. And they will all say for the vested interest of the United States of America, which is not far from true, but it's the vested interest of the elites. It's not for the Babylon the Great. It's for the elites. The most destabilized countries you have, more infighting. People have problems, right? That we know of. And what they will tell you, especially when it comes to what happened in America, is they'll sit there and tell you, oh, we came, the people were savages, they was killing one another, they had their differences. And then they came along and the rest was history. But what they failed to tell you is how many of the natives that they used to kill off other natives, how they studied the natives, they hired the natives to kill off the other natives. And then once they did hire them and did what they had to do with them, they treated them like shit. The underlying message behind all of this madness that Esau does, the Lord can't stand, is a term that was well used throughout history called divide and conquer. And they're very good at this. Matter of fact, they became expert at this. All right. They're the ones that empower rival gangs and rival individuals who probably just could sit there and just talk it out. Now with these devils, see, that's not the entrance of the elites. Don't get it twisted. The elites run everything. The elites run this show. So everything that is done is not done for the best interests of the American people. It was always about the international bankers and how much money they make. Now, if I say, first I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, the honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. If I didn't say it, it was always good to say. So a lot of evidence is coming out. All your heroes that you look up to, hey, even the heroes that you do look up to are all compromised. All right? Because this is Esau's world. The United States have the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. The British have, what was it? M5. The Israelis have the Mossad, IDF. It's all about intelligence. Intelligence in the form of knowing the enemy. This is part of their this is part of their blessing. Their blessing is to study people, study your weaknesses, and use that against you. That's why the Lord called. That's why He's known in the scriptures as Proverbs. No, not Proverbs. I'm going to one in Proverbs too. Psalm 17 and 13. It said, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave their rest of their substance to babes." Oh, I was just I, I was watching X-Files. I never really watched that show even back in the days, but it was a good ass episode. And this episode had to deal with witchcraft and the covenant. Now, this is X-Files came out in '95, and it was dropping some bombs on it. And one of the main things that this episode was dealing with was a child. She was 15, I believe. They said, and she gave the backstory, everything that we done heard of children getting taken. No, not sorry, not taken. I'm sorry. No, nobody was taken in this one. They was utilizing. I'm gonna just try to say it the best way. They SA the girl, her father, and she said everybody in the town or whatever used to come around and do that to her. And what they did was they made the victims forget what happened, and then it triggered in this particular episode. It was an ill ass episode. I just don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the name of episode or whatever, and it shows you even back then they knew it was right up in people's face. The X-Files be saying some episodes they are good, and they be throw some shades to it, and it was basically saying the girl said it, and in the show they said that the people consider her or the father whatever. She's a breeder. And she was explaining what does a breeder means, and then all it means is that they should have children, and those children are just made for sacrifice. So I bring that up to show you that even the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, controls what we see on television, what we consume. They throw hints in there. They utilize the witchcraft that they have. All right, they put these hints in there and they give you ideas. They tell you what's going on, but they put it in an entertaining way. All right, so they the one that control the whole entire narrative of what's to go, how to go, and they did this here in the United States, Babylon the Great. Why? To push in this godless society. All right, that's what the scripture says. My other favorites, Isaiah 19 and 14. It says, "The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." So the Lord put this perverse spirit in the midst of this. I was just watching another film. It's called Claudette, whatever, and it was one of the famous actors. She played in damn, Pirates of the Caribbean. She looked beautiful back in the days and everything like that, but she playing the role of a carpet muncher. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, why would she take that role? Well, if you know, you know. It's all about controlling the mind, to keep pushing perverseness out there, to keep degenerating the minds of the people, to make it more acceptable. And all this is errors, meaning everything that they're doing is making a mistake. Because now, on the flip side of things, there ain't that many of them. All right, the Edomites, they're more in tune into degeneracy because they are natural born degenerates. Deuteronomy 32:32 tells you the vine is the vine of Sodom and the gall of Gomorrah. So their roots come from that stem. So part of that stem, the same thing they doing operating here in the States, they have done that in abroad. All right, they push certain agendas. This is how people from other countries come about, and they already have some sort of conclusion of everything because what they've seen on the tell to the vision. All right, it's all about divide and conquer, and it's like I said, it's not for the vested interest of Babylon, the United States of America. It's the vested interest of the elites, that and their hidden messages, their hidden ones. All right, this is the perfect place to bring in nothing but confusion. This is why it's called Babylon. It's all about the divide and conquer. So divide and conquer is just not you at error with your brother and here comes the instigator. It's also what they put in people's mind to think a certain way. So now you have a whole plethora of abominable people and everybody mixed into one and everybody's divided. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which head or tail, branch or rush may do. And that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which shaketh over it. And why? Because judgment is coming. All right, judgment is coming, and everything that this place has done onto other nations and other states is coming back. Like the great Malcolm X said, the only reason why he's great because the quote, the the chickens come back to the roost. So all the sinful shit that they've been throwing out there is coming back to them, and they're trying to control that as well. To sow in the chaos. All right, the CIA, FBI, all the alphabet, they're all agency of chaos. That's all they are. Proverbs 6:12. It says, a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a forward mouth. He waketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teaches with his fingers, which is talking about in code. Everything's in code. Everything, just like the Spider-Man movie. One of the main character ability, the villain of the movie, the main character did something which it only could go for a certain amount of feet, and it so happens to be 33 feet. All right, they throw things out there, they throw numbers out there, they throw everything out there. These are codes telling one another. All right, it says forwardness is in his mouth. I'm sorry, forwardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. So even in that sense, if going back, if the encyclopedia stated that people, the sodomites, are natural, I mean, they got mental illness, and all of a sudden they made this thing popular and it's acceptable, that's sowing discord. All right, that's completely destroying the generalizing their own society. And why do they have that entrance? Because that was always a plan. All right, they said Berlin was at a particular time the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, here it is, people trying to do right, and this man is saying, "No, you can do as I please, do as I will." That's all they do. All right, why people? Why did God mention Vietnam, North Korea, South Korea, so forth? Because America literally went there to split it. Pakistan, India. Esau has a well-known um, ability to divide people, sow discord. It says, therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. All this stuff that he's doing is going to come with a course. It says, these 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yes, 7 is an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. They're all guilty for that shit. A heart that devises wicked imagination. Now that is exactly what's going on right now. All this is part of the plan. Isaiah 29:16 tells you that they had this thing done in darkness, in secrecy. All right? It was all about the overthrow of society. So this is a masterful plan that's being executed perfectly. Even to the point of the retaliation is manifest, is planned out. They think they have everything under control, but they don't. It says feet that be swift in running to mischief. Like Iran. Iran had a situation where people was literally protesting the government. Then America turned around and bombed it. Now the irony of it all, it was relying on the people to overthrow the government. This goes back into the era. Everything that they do is an error. Everything that they have conducted has been wrong. All right. Now they're in a quagmire. So instead of dividing, that's how you know everything is changing. Instead of dividing, people are uniting. They're galvanizing. It says, a false witness that speak of lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And that's this man's MO. That's the only way he can take down people that are stronger than him. He needs division. That's why he's a devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, devil means slanderer, false accuser. So he go around forcing and accusing mainly Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is how they make it acceptable for you to hate your own history. Of course, our people did wicked shit. That's why they was getting punished for. That's what we still getting punished for. All right, we're being punished for turning our back against the Lord. So this man find the opportunity and keep it like that. And then he goes around hiring people like Brandon Tatum and so forth. Same organization to cause more confusion out there. That's the name of the game is sword confusion amongst who? Amongst brethren. And when it look like somebody's uniting or getting along, they gotta find a way to cause confusion. And everybody's confusion is a sign of what? Weakness. Then they can be taken down. But like I stated earlier, it's coming back. Habakkuk 2, I believe it's 5 I want to get. Yeah, because he transgressive by wine. There I go, sir. Yeah. Because he transgressive by wine. Talking about Esau eating. What is that wine? It's philosophies. All right. Democracy is one of them. But the the majority of places that get overthrown is those that follow democracy. Is that by accident? Absolutely not. If that particular nation does not do what Babylon the Great, mainly, I'm gonna keep mainly what the elites want. The elites want um, central banking or international banking in certain places. There were 7 places that didn't have it, and they pretty much got their checklist down to narrowed down to maybe 1 or 2 countries left. All right, that's also part of their philosophies. This whole entire thing of capitalism, that's part of that philosophy. Feminism, part of their philosophy. Their homosexuality, part of their philosophy. These are the abomination that they're pushing out there. They say he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. So he don't keep the shit right here. He takes it all over. Who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as deaf, it cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's exactly what they have done. They made it interesting. Freedom. All right. What was the premise of the pilgrims? Religious freedom. They escaped the persecution of religion and all this madness, and they could do what they have to do over here, which was all bullshit. It was to do the abominable shit that they were nothing but criminals that was being cast out. All right. So the same thing applies, and they made it interesting. So every nation who done wicked, you got the most evil beings on the planet Earth right now is here in America. That's the best way you can look at it. The most wicked souls is right here in America. Why? The Lord did that for it, to gather all nations so he could smoke this place. All right. It says, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So he wants to be above all. All right. Now he wants to cast people out because his numbers are not, they're not there. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? And thick clay is what? A batyat in the Hebrew, which means debt. Now America is debt is mostly bought and held by Japan, China, you know, and Japan pretty much dumped the money. That's why I should have recorded it. There was the news people asked Trump about aiding Japan with I think they had a financial problem. They lost like $54 billion, so they want to go and buy yang, which is Chinese money. So Japan, which was Ammon, who hated China, bought Chinese, so that way their society doesn't collapse. So this man is in debt. He's indebted. All right. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly? I shall bite thee. Then it said, and awake that shall vex thee. and that shall be booty unto them. So all these nations are rising up against the author of confusion, the place that brought nothing but confusion. This is why, this is why nobody wants America in their country. The America is known for bringing nothing but confusion, but it's now everything. The same nations that you ruined their country has infiltrated enemies in the gate. That wasn't by accident. It's not by accident that this man is doing what he's doing either. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of man's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein. And what happened? How was America established? It was established by the blood, the genocide of the Native Americans, which they have broken every single treaty that they made with the Native Americans. All right. So because of these acts, that original sin of America, the only way to get things right is by the blood that was shed thereof. So America is done, and is even the lower elites, they know that this place is done. The upper elites, they don't give a damn. They want the results, and they're gonna get what they want. So they think. All right, they think they're gonna get what they want, but they're gonna have to pay for what they've done. That's all this is all about. That evidence that this man told on, which is him pleading guilty of what America's capability have been in society, is a damning admission to what they do. So when the thing comes back, when all hell breaks loose, is justified. It says, woe to him that coveted evil covenants to his house, which is, covenants mean to take something that belongs to someone else. All right. Like there was a video circulating years ago. It always pops up in Thanksgiving, and there's a comedian. He takes somebody's car, and they're like, "Yo, what you doing in my car? I discovered it." That's what he said. He said nobody was there. I discovered it. And the parody is how this place was gotten. It was gotten by rape, robbery, and murder. And the guy said exactly what they do in the other countries, funding the worst possible beasts to terrorize their own people. Then you wonder why there's problems in the streets of America with the Crips and the Bloods and so forth. People, Charlie Kirk tried to use this. Oh yeah, it's black on black crime, and the Lord took him out because all of that shit is fabricated. Because they the ones that orchestrated. The Lord's gonna pay them back for what they have done. All right. It says that He may set His nest on high, right? That He may be delivered from the power of evil, which means bad times. So this man is running because he knows he's outnumbered, he's outclassed, and everybody has a gripe with these people. This is why they need to establish this artificial intelligent society, 15-minute cities. They need to empower themselves with that. They already have the military might, but there's laws and restrictions that prevents them to go full throttle, which is really the prophecies. The Lord has not done what he's doing with brothers and a few sisters. That's the only thing that's holding back. So this man's going to try to escape. He caused all this chaos in this fucking world, but he's going to try to escape. The fucking nerd. Revelations 20, I went to the point, in 8, says, and when the 1,000 years, sorry, 8. Matter of fact, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison, which is going to what they call medieval times, dark ages, and so forth. The Satan coming, getting out of his prison was them from 1492 on down to this day. All right, they've been nothing but the adversary to everything and everyone. And they shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And that's exactly what they did. From the Jesuits to different organizations, CIA, Mossad, M5, what's the Russian equivalent, KGB, or you name it, they've done it all to deceive the nations, to empower their organization. And what was ill about that, now I think about it, gotta go back to that.
My name?
No, not that one.
Hey, question. My name.
And that's another, yeah.
Land.
All right, now check this map out. Check this map out. Whenever it pops up. Yeah, this man's the devil, man. This man's literally the physical devil on the planet Earth. To sow nothing but confusion. To sow nothing but discord. These are not the people to bring everybody together. Because everybody come together, they will notice something. But they the ones got to be on top. That's why they need that technology. All right. I'm just looking for the map. And when you look at the map, you understand exactly what's going on. There it is. So now, if you look at the map, all the northern and Australia all ran by Edomites from Russia, America, and so forth. The southern, South America, Africa, China is ran by other nations. So everything that this man does is prejudice. All right. So with all that deception, it says Gog and Magog, which is Russia, Gog, which means from Magog, to gather them together to the battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea, which is talking about what? All the nations coming together. So all this deception, that's what's happening right now in Iran. Iran's war with America is based on deception. The lie is, oh, for 47 years, Iran's been at war with us, when it was the other way around. All right. It's the other way around, which is going to cause World War III, which is causing World War III, you know what I'm saying? And they said, Russia said, if they send ground troops, Russians going to get involved. So you literally talking about the mega powers, which is China and Russia versus the United States and Israel. But all this is prophecy. The Lord is paying them back with the same tactic that they're doing. Same tactic. Because who's going to be the end of Esau? Esau. All right. I'm going to end it off on, Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, which goes into Esau's kingdom. All right. 7 heads is Greece, Rome, Germania Minor, Major, France, Spain, and Britannia. That's the 7 heads. And the 10 is the equivalent of the EU NATO. All right. Started with 10, but now there's add more members. So when he saw empire of men. And you see, he saw a beast as an empire of men. It's ran by a man that's a beast. It says, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which goes back to Alexander the Great, and his feet were as the foot of a bear, which is Russia. So from Alexander the Great to the Russian Empire, that's the end of the beast system. That's the end of Esau's kingdom. So it's Esau's kingdom that is divided, that's going to destroy itself. All right? Because the Lord gave them the equipment to do that. As in his mouth was as the mouth of a lion, which goes into the British, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, which was that authority to what? To run this world. So that same beast system runs this world, and that same beast system will be destroyed within. All right. So with that being said, we're saying real quick to the spirit. Shalom to the elected nation Israel. Shalom.